Hi everyone, DG Webster. I'm back to tell you more about the GEP editorial process. Momo here has decided to join me. We'll see if she can sleep through this entire video. Hopefully I'm not boring you guys, putting you to sleep. But just quickly to go more into our first criteria for whether or not we send papers out to review, which is fit with the journal. So I mentioned in the previous video, global, environmental, and politics. So global needs to be international. It doesn't have to be just, international negotiations. We accept comparative papers as well. But we don't really accept papers that are specifically about the politics, the domestic politics of one country. The exceptions that we might make with sort of single country case studies is where you might be looking at transnational actors and seeing how they operate in one country and talking about sort of how generalizable that is to other countries. So there needs to be that generalizability component. Usually we've made those exceptions in terms of, for instance, looking at indigenous people and questions of sovereignty in the environment, looking at businesses and transnational corporations and their effects on international environmental politics. And I think we have a paper that either just came out or is coming out soon that is on, for instance, religious organizations, and that looks at them in one context in one country, but trying to affect politics internationally, even though they're operating in just that one country. So that's the first part of GEP. The second part is, of course, the environment. We don't usually find papers missing the mark on the environment. Every once in a while we get something that's totally out there, but it seems like most people do sort of get that angle. And then, of course, the politics, which I mentioned previously. And that's the one I think we end up DRing the most on is, this is a great policy paper, it's a great management paper, a great law paper, but it's not got that political aspect. So what do we mean by politics? Well, we're pretty open. It doesn't have, could be about, political governments and negotiating positions and all of that fun stuff, but also, like I said, transnational actors, issues for the global South, really distributional concerns, power, where it comes from, how it's being used, how it's shaping environmental outcomes. Those are the main questions that we're hoping to find answers to with GEP and the GEP literature. The last thing I'll say is beyond just global environmental politics, the thing to do, wherever you're publishing, is to really look at what they have published in the past, especially on the topic that you're writing about, and ask yourself, am I really in conversation with the authors in this journal? Or for GEP, there's a lot of books as well, so you can look at our book review section and say, okay, am I citing these folks? Am I really engaging intellectually with this larger discourse? And if you are, that's a really good sign that we'll be happy to have you submit to Global Environmental Politics. So that's it from me for now. Please follow if you want to see more of me and potentially more of Momo if she volunteers again. Have a good one. Bye.